Out in the vast, unpredictable waters off Somalia, a routine voyage suddenly spirals into a life-or-death battle. Captain Adam faces a fleet of armed pirates closing in fast, outnumbered, outgunned, but far from defeated. What happens next isn't just about survival. It's a masterclass in quick thinking, courage, and strategy. How does one man turn the tide against danger on the high seas? Captain Adam stood on the bridge of the container ship as it sliced through the choppy waters off the coast of Somalia. The early morning sun cast a pale light over the restless sea, and a steady breeze whipped through the ship's rigging. Despite the seemingly calm conditions, the region was known for its dangers, especially from piracy, a reality Captain Adam was well aware of. For decades of maritime experience, Captain Adam was no stranger to this stretch of ocean. As he monitored the radar and checked the ship's coordinates, his eyes scanned the horizon. At first, he noticed a few small boats in the distance, moving steadily across the water. His initial assessment was that they were likely local fishermen, a common sight in these parts. Fishing had long been a way of life along Somalia's coast, and the sight of traditional boats was not unusual. But as the minutes passed and the boats drew closer, something about their movements began to trouble him. The boats moved with a precision and synchronization that seemed deliberate rather than casual. His instincts, honed by years at sea, raised a silent alarm. He knew the difference between local fishermen going about their daily work and something far more threatening. Without hesitation, Captain Adam sounded the ship's alarm. All hands on deck, his voice rang out over the intercom, firm and commanding. The crew responded swiftly, moving to their stations with practiced efficiency. The atmosphere on the ship shifted from routine to alert in an instant. The radar confirmed what Adam suspected. The boats were not just ordinary fishing vessels, they were fast-moving and heading straight for the container ship. Armed men, identified by their silhouettes and the way they handled their weapons, stood ready on the decks of the approaching boats. These were pirates, a scourge that had plagued this part of the world for years, known for hijacking vessels, demanding ransom, and sometimes resorting to violence. Despite the gravity of the situation, Captain Adam maintained his composure. He quickly issued orders to the crew to prepare for evasive maneuvers. His hands moved confidently across the control panel as he adjusted the ship's speed and course, aiming to outmaneuver the attackers. His voice remained calm but authoritative, giving clear instructions to secure the ship and ready any defensive measures available. The two pirate boats closed in rapidly, zigzagging and attempting to flank the container ship from both sides. Captain Adam used the ship's large size to his advantage, creating powerful wakes in the water that rocked the smaller pirate vessels. The waves crashed against the hull, forming a natural barrier intended to destabilize the attackers. For a brief moment, it seemed the strategy was working. The pirates struggled to keep pace, their boats buffeted by the ship's wake in the rough sea. But then, a sudden, sharp impact jolted the container ship. A third boat, previously hidden from view, had closed in on their starboard side. The presence of this additional vessel was unexpected, and it caught Captain Adam off guard. Within moments, armed men from this third boat grappled onto the side of the container ship, scaling aboard with urgent determination. The element of surprise was lost, and the crew faced an immediate threat. Though the ship was equipped with weapons and security protocols, Captain Adam recognized the danger of escalating the situation into a firefight. The risks to his crew were too great. Faced with the pirates boarding, Captain Adam made a calculated decision. He ordered the crew to surrender control of the ship temporarily, aiming to avoid bloodshed and buy time. His hope was that his superiors and authorities could manage the situation from there, minimizing harm while preserving the vessel and its crew. However, surrender did not mean giving up entirely. As the pirates began to spread out across the ship, their movements were cautious but confident. They appeared experienced, though disorganized, and quickly started searching for valuables and key equipment. Captain Adam knew the ship better than anyone else, and he quietly began to formulate a plan to outwit the attackers. Using the ship's communication system, Captain Adam directed the crew to gather in the cafeteria, a secure and easily monitored area below deck. He emphasized the importance of staying calm and following instructions. Meanwhile, he took steps to disable the engines, leaving the ship adrift in the open sea. This move prevented the pirates from steering the vessel on their own terms, giving Adam a measure of control despite the situation. As the pirates explored the vast interior of the ship, their leader, a man named Oral, quickly took charge. Despite their limited numbers, only 5 pirates, the group was intent on maximizing their haul. Oral dismissed the idea of calling for reinforcements, distrusting both outside help and his own crew. Their plan was to seize what they could carry themselves and retreat before backup arrived. The pirates' hesitation revealed a weakness that Captain Adam could exploit. The vast and unfamiliar layout of the container ship posed challenges even for them. They needed crew members who knew the ship's design to navigate efficiently. At the same time, the eerie silence that filled the vessel heightened tensions on both sides. Back on the bridge, Captain Adam and his second-in-command quietly coordinated their next moves. They instructed the crew to remain hidden and prepared to act. The ship's security systems, surveillance cameras, and strategic layout would become critical tools in their counterattack. Captain Adam was determined to regain control without unnecessary violence. Outside, the chase and confrontation reflected the broader reality of maritime piracy in the region. Somali pirates had gained notoriety for their tactics, often exploiting gaps in international naval coverage and the vulnerabilities of commercial vessels. Shipping companies and captains like Adam had developed protocols to respond, but the threat remained persistent. Captain Adam's experience, quick thinking, and calm leadership under pressure were essential in navigating this crisis. He balanced the need to protect his crew and vessel with the complexities of facing armed adversaries in a hostile environment. The coming hours would test not only his skills, but also the resilience and cooperation of everyone aboard. Once the pirates had successfully boarded the container ship, the atmosphere on board grew tense and uncertain. The 5 men were armed with outdated AK-47 rifles, their presence imposing but somewhat disorganized. Although their stealthy approach suggested they were experienced, the sheer size of the ship posed a challenge even for seasoned intruders. The vessel was far larger than any they had previously targeted, and they found themselves hesitant, unsure where to begin. Their leader, Oral, quickly took control of the situation. He was a man used to making rapid decisions, and despite his mistrust of others, including members of his own group, he devised a plan focused on speed and efficiency. The primary goal was to locate the most valuable and easily transportable items aboard the ship. Oral was firm on one point. This would be a job for the 5 of them alone. He dismissed suggestions to call for reinforcements, fearing that additional pirates might take a larger share of the loot or complicate the operation. The pirates split up to cover more ground, each moving through the labyrinthine corridors and cargo holds with increasing caution. The eerie silence within the ship only amplified the tension, making every creak and distant noise seem ominous. They exchanged wary glances, sensing that their intrusion was being closely watched and that the crew was nowhere to be found. This silence was unsettling, unlike the noise and chaos typical of a hijacking. Meanwhile, Captain Adam remained in the control room, maintaining a calm but vigilant watch over the situation. From the ship's surveillance monitors, he tracked the movements of the pirates as they fanned out across the vessel. The division of the pirate group into smaller teams actually worked to Adam's advantage. It meant he could plan his counterattack methodically, dealing with one group at a time rather than confronting the entire gang all at once. Adam immediately radioed his 2 second-in-command officers, giving precise instructions. The crew members who had gathered in the cafeteria were to remain locked inside, safe from the pirates' reach. Then the officers were to join Adam on the bridge to help coordinate the response. Both men arrived promptly, ready to assist in what was about to become a delicate operation. Unaware that their every move was being monitored, the pirates continued their search. 2 of them, Ahmed and Yusef, crept cautiously along the decks toward what they hoped would be a cache of valuable goods. Their nervousness was evident in their tight grip on their weapons and the furtive glances they cast over their shoulders. Captain Adam and his team had prepared a trap in one of the ship's cargo holds, a strategic location chosen for its limited exits and proximity to the pirates' likely route. The crew had worked quickly but carefully, setting up cargo nets and installing hidden alarms to create a non-lethal snare. The trap was designed to capture rather than harm, neutralizing the threat without unnecessary violence. As Ahmed and Yusef approached the source of a suspicious noise, the clattering of a crate lid, they mistook it for the sound of hidden crew members. Their greed momentarily overrode their caution when they peered into the crate and discovered rows of shiny new smartphones. The value of these devices was immediately clear to the pirates. These gadgets promised a significant payday, far beyond what they had anticipated. Hidden behind a small gap in the crate's structure, Captain Adam and his team observed the pirates with focused attention. They waited for the perfect moment to spring their trap, watching as the 2 men became increasingly engrossed in their loot. The pirates' excitement made them vulnerable. Their whispers and movements became careless. Suddenly, with a silent signal from Adam, the trap was activated. The crate doors slammed shut, locking Ahmed and Yesef inside. The initial celebration quickly turned to panic as the pirates realized they were trapped. Adam's team exhaled in relief. One immediate threat was contained, but the mission was far from complete. Back on the bridge, Adam quickly disabled all communications within the crate to ensure the captured pirates could not alert their comrades. He remained focused and calm, continuously monitoring the remaining 3 pirates visible on the surveillance feeds. These men, led by Oral, were still active and armed, presenting a significant danger. Adam gathered his crew once again, emphasizing the importance of silence and stealth. Any noise or careless move could jeopardize their carefully laid plans. The stakes were high. Every decision could mean the difference between safety and disaster. Recognizing the need for outside help, Captain Adam used the ship's radio to contact the nearest Coast Guard. His voice was steady and clear as he detailed the situation. 2 pirates secured, 3 still active and armed, and the crew safe but vulnerable. The radio crackled with static, but the message was sent. After sending the call for assistance, Adam and his team maintained a tense silence, all eyes focused on the radio and the monitors. They knew the Coast Guard was their best chance for a safe resolution, but the ship was far from shore. Backup could be hours away, and the immediate responsibility to protect the crew and ship rested entirely on Adam and his team. The Coast Guard responded, acknowledging the emergency and assuring they were preparing a careful boarding operation. Their readiness brought a measure of hope to those aboard, but the situation remained precarious. Meanwhile, Oral led his men cautiously through the ship's corridors. The absence of Ahmed and Yesef was quickly noticed. Oral's suspicion grew and he signaled his men to move quietly, scanning each room for signs of a trap or resistance. The oppressive silence pressed down on them, and with every empty space, the feeling of danger intensified. Nervous glances passed between the pirates as unease mounted. Oral's mind raced, suspecting they were being watched or set up. His frustration and paranoia grew and he moved with increasing caution. One wrong move could spell disaster. Back on the bridge, Captain Adam continued to analyze the movements of Oral and his men. Outsmarting a cautious and dangerous opponent like Oral required patience and precise strategy. Adam briefed his crew in low tones, stressing the need for discipline and control. The stakes were higher than ever. The tension finally reached a breaking point when Oral, in a sudden outburst of anger, fired his weapon into the ship's ceiling. The sharp sound echoed through the metal corridors, followed by gunfire from his men. Their intent was clear: to flush out any hidden crew members and regain control through intimidation. However, the loud gunfire exposed the pirates' positions, removing any advantage of stealth they had. It also revealed their vulnerability as the noise made them easy to track. Captain Oral's voice boomed through the corridors, filled with threats and warnings. His men followed his lead, their menacing presence making the ship feel even smaller and more dangerous. Despite the escalating chaos, Adam remained composed on the bridge. He carefully issued instructions to his crew, maintaining control over the unfolding situation. His goal was to prevent further violence while finding an opportunity to regain the upper hand. Recognizing that a direct confrontation was inevitable, Adam prepared to take a calculated risk. He armed himself with non-lethal tools, a stun gun and handcuffs, preferring strategy and control over brute force. His team trusted his judgment as he quietly moved through the ship, approaching Oral's last known location. Every step was measured and deliberate. Adam's experience told him that hesitation could be fatal. As he rounded a corner, he came face to face with Oral and his men. The pirates raised their weapons, ready to fire, but Adam stood firm and calm. Sensing his confidence, the pirates hesitated. Oral studied Adam, wary but intrigued. In a calculated move, Adam offered to lead them to the ship's most valuable cargo, masking his true intentions behind a facade of cooperation. Greed clouded Oral's suspicion, and he reluctantly agreed. Adam guided the pirates through the maze of cargo, moving closer to the trap while maintaining a steady composure. Finally, they reached a crate filled with glittering jewelry. The pirates, momentarily distracted by the valuable loot, began stuffing their bags. At the precise moment Adam acted, with a forceful push, he sent Oral tumbling into a concealed trap. Immediately, Adam's crew sprang into action from their hidden positions. Caught off guard, the remaining pirates had no chance to react. The coordinated takedown was swift and decisive. Within minutes, the crew had secured all the intruders. With the ship under control, Adam directed a thorough sweep to ensure no other threats remained. Every room was checked, doors locked, and the crew's safety confirmed. The tension that had gripped the vessel slowly began to ease. With the pirates subdued and the immediate threat to the ship and crew eliminated, a cautious calm settled over the vessel. Captain Adam and his team began the process of securing the ship thoroughly, ensuring that no hidden dangers remained and that all areas were checked and locked down. The crew, though shaken by the ordeal, started to regain their composure as they realized that the worst was over. The arrival of the Coast Guard cutter on the horizon brought visible relief to everyone on board. Their presence meant that professional law enforcement was close at hand, ready to take over and deal with the captured pirates. Adam prepared the ship for the handover, ensuring that the Coast Guard could board safely and efficiently. When the Coast Guard officers finally came aboard, Adam led them through the ship to present the restrained pirates. Among them was Oral, the leader, still visibly stunned from the capture. Despite the intensity of the confrontation, Adam approached the situation with a measured perspective. He understood the complexity behind piracy and acknowledged the difficult realities that often drove men like Oral and his crew into a life of crime. Before the pirates were removed from the ship, Adam made a solemn appeal to the Coast Guard officers. He acknowledged that these men had committed serious crimes, but urged for leniency, recognizing that many pirates are motivated by desperation and poverty rather than sheer malice. His words reflected a nuanced understanding of the situation, and the officers listened attentively. They nodded in acknowledgement, a silent agreement that while justice must be served, the circumstances of these men could not be ignored. Following the debriefing, the Coast Guard praised the crew's bravery and strategic thinking. Their ability to manage the crisis with minimal violence and maximal control was commendable. The officers noted that the captain's leadership and the crew's discipline had been critical in resolving a dangerous situation without loss of life. With the pirates safely in custody and the immediate threat neutralized, the ship resumed its course. The tension that had gripped the crew slowly eased, replaced by a renewed sense of unity and quiet strength. The experience had forged a bond among them, a shared story of survival and resilience that would remain long after the journey continued. Captain Adam took time to personally check on each member of his crew. He understood that such an intense encounter could leave lasting emotional impacts. Offering reassurance and support, he reminded them of their professionalism and courage. His leadership was steady and compassionate, helping to restore confidence and morale. As the ship sailed steadily through the waters, thoughts turned to what lay ahead. The incident was a stark reminder of the dangers inherent in maritime travel through high-risk areas. Piracy, particularly off the coast of Somalia, remains a significant threat to commercial shipping. Though global efforts have reduced the frequency of attacks, the risk persists and vigilance is essential. Captain Adam and his crew had prepared well for this voyage, equipped with knowledge, training, and a plan that proved effective when put to the test. Their actions demonstrated the importance of readiness and calm under pressure, traits that can mean the difference between disaster and survival in hostile situations. But the ordeal also highlighted the value of coordination with external agencies. The timely communication with the Coast Guard and their rapid response underscored how collaboration between ship crews and maritime authorities is vital for managing piracy threats. Such partnerships are crucial in ensuring safety on international waters. For the crew, life gradually returned to its routine, but the memory of the encounter lingered. They shared stories of the tense moments and the quick decisions that had saved them. These experiences became part of their collective memory, shaping their approach to future voyages. The ship itself bore the marks of the confrontation. Minor damage to the hull where the pirates had grappled on and the signs of the trap set to catch them. These physical reminders served as silent witnesses to the episode, symbols of resilience and effective crisis management. In the broader context, the incident was a microcosm of the ongoing challenges faced by maritime commerce. Piracy disrupts trade, threatens lives, and complicates global supply chains. It also forces ships to adopt costly security measures and routes that can extend travel times and expenses. Efforts to combat piracy involve multiple strategies, including naval patrols, onboard security teams, improved ship design, and international cooperation. Training crews in anti-piracy tactics, as demonstrated by Captain Adam's leadership, is a crucial component of these efforts. The story of Captain Adam and his crew offers valuable lessons in preparedness, leadership, and resilience. Their experience shows that even in the face of well-armed and determined attackers, calm strategy and coordinated action can protect lives and property. As the sun set over the open sea, the container ship moved steadily onward, a testament to the courage and skill of those who sailed her. Captain Adam's steady hand at the helm ensured that the voyage would continue safely, guided by experience and an unyielding commitment to his crew's well-being. While the threat of piracy remains a global issue, stories like this demonstrate the progress that can be made through vigilance, training, and cooperation. The world's oceans may be vast and sometimes perilous, but with capable leadership and teamwork, those who navigate them can face challenges with confidence and resolve.